Sometimes darkness hides behind a friendly smile or a helping hand. Not everyone who enters your life has good intentions. Some people wear a mask of charm, only to reveal their true nature when it's too late. These are the individuals who manipulate, deceive, and take advantage of your trust. Recognizing them is not just important, it's essential to protecting your peace, your confidence, and your future. In this video, I'll walk you through 6 powerful red flags that expose the toxic, manipulative individuals around you. Learn these, and you won't just avoid pain, you'll reclaim your strength. Before we dive in, if you're ready to protect your peace and elevate your mindset, consider subscribing. Now, let's get into it. Red flag number 1, excessive flattery. Evil people always use flattery as a cover for their true intentions. They want you to trust them, rely on them, and feel good around them so they can take advantage of you later. People who don't have good intentions use excessive flattery as a tool. On the surface, it might seem like they're just being nice or appreciative, but when compliments feel over the top or insincere, it's worth paying attention. When flattery is used too much, isn't always genuine, it can be a tactic to manipulate or gain control. Imagine someone who constantly tells you how amazing you are. They might say things like, "You're the smartest person I've ever met," or "I don't know how I'd survive without you." At first, it feels good to hear these words. Everyone likes to feel appreciated. But over time, you might notice that their compliments don't feel real. They seem exaggerated, or they repeat the same phrases over and over, almost like they're trying to convince you of something. For example, let's say you're at work and a colleague keeps complimenting your ideas. They say things like, "Your presentations are always the best," or "You're the reason this team succeeds." At first you feel proud and happy, but then they start asking for favors, small ones at first, like helping with a task or covering for them during a meeting. Over time, their requests grow bigger, and you realize that their flattery was just a way to get you to do what they wanted. These people use excessive flattery to create a sense of obligation. Imagine a friend who keeps saying, "You're the most generous person I know." You might feel pressured to lend them money or do favors for them, even if it makes you uncomfortable. This is how they use your kindness against you. Flattery can also be a distraction. If someone has bad intentions, they might use compliments to keep you from noticing their true motives. For example, imagine someone who keeps telling you how beautiful or talented you are while secretly spreading rumors about you or taking advantage of your trust. The compliments keep you focused on their nice words, so you don't see the harm they're causing. It's important to understand that not all compliments are bad. Genuine praise comes from a place of truth and care. But when compliments feel excessive, fake, or manipulative, it's a red flag. A person with good intentions doesn't need to constantly remind you of your worth. They show it through their actions, not just their words. Recognizing this tactic is the first step to protecting yourself. When someone's words seem too good to be true, it's okay to take a step back and ask yourself what their real motives might be. Red flag number 2, they constantly lie or manipulate the truth. Truth is the foundation of trust, and without it, relationships crumble. Yet, an evil person has no regard for truth, not because they need to lie, but because they want to. Deception is not just a tool for them, it is a way of life. They lie to manipulate, to control, and to keep you uncertain, questioning what is real and what is not. At first, their lies may seem harmless. A small exaggeration here, a slight distortion there. But over time, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. One day, they tell you something with full confidence, only to deny it later when confronted. If you push back, they act offended, accusing you of misremembering, being too sensitive, of making things up. And slowly, doubt creeps in. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I'm overthinking. That's the trap. A truly malicious liar doesn't just deceive, they reshape reality. They gaslight, twisting events so that you start second-guessing your own memory, your own instincts. One moment, you are certain of the truth. The next, you are lost in a fog of confusion. This is by design. A confused mind is an easy mind to control. Now think of the times they could have told the truth, but didn't. A moment where honesty cost them nothing, yet they still chose deception. Why? Because to them, lying is not just about avoiding trouble. It is about power. They lie to create an advantage, to test boundaries, to see how much they can get away with. They fabricate stories, twist words, and distort facts, not because they must, but because they can. And the most unsettling part? They never feel guilt. A Stoic understands that clarity of mind is essential for a life of virtue. If someone constantly manipulates the truth, they are not just dishonest, they are dangerous. Every interaction with them becomes a game, a mental battlefield where you are left exhausted, drained, and unsure of what is real. And that is exactly what they want. But you do not have to play. If someone in your life fits this pattern, do not dismiss it as a bad habit or a minor character flaw. It is a red flag waving right in front of you. The longer you tolerate their deceit, the more control they gain over your thoughts, your emotions, and your sense of reality. So ask yourself, are you constantly questioning your own perception around them? Do you feel uneasy, as if something is always off? If the answer is yes, step back. Protect your mind, and most importantly, trust your instincts. Because an evil person will never hand you the truth. It is up to you to see it for yourself. Red flag number 3. Unexplained jealousy. Unexplained jealousy is one of the most toxic signs of evil intentions. When someone cannot handle your success, happiness, or even simple joys, it reveals a darker side of their personality. Instead of celebrating your achievements, they feel threatened or envious, which can lead them to act in ways that undermine or harm you. Jealousy often starts subtly. You might notice them making small, snide remarks when something good happens to you. For example, if you get a promotion at work, they might say, "Must be nice to get all the easy projects handed to you." At first, it might seem like a joke, but over time, these comments become more frequent and less disguised. Their words aren't just playful, they're rooted in resentment. Evil people often mask their jealousy by pretending to be supportive. Imagine a friend who congratulates you on buying a new car, but then adds, "I bet the monthly payments are killing you." Or someone who compliments your relationship but says, "Enjoy it while it lasts." Things like that don't last forever. These comments seem innocent on the surface, but they're laced with bitterness and an attempt to bring you down. Unexplained jealousy can also manifest as sabotage. For instance, if you're working on a big project, they might accidentally forget to pass on important information or make errors that slow you down. In friendships, they might spread rumors or gossip about you, hoping to damage your reputation. These actions aren't random. They're deliberate attempts to level the playing field by pulling you down. This behavior is often rooted in their own insecurities. Instead of being happy for others, they see someone else's success as a reflection of their own shortcomings. For example, if you achieve something they've always wanted, it reminds them of what they don't have. Instead of using this as motivation to improve themselves, they channel their feelings into envy and resentment. Unexplained jealousy can even lead to passive-aggressive behavior. For instance, they might deliberately exclude you from events, withhold important information, or give backhanded compliments. Imagine someone saying, "You look great today, for once." These small actions are meant to chip away at your confidence and make you question your worth. Jealousy often grows stronger when the person feels powerless. They see your achievements as a reminder of what they lack, and instead of focusing on improving themselves, they focus on tearing you down. This negativity can create a toxic environment, whether it's in the workplace, a friendship, or even within your family. Red flag number 4. They make you feel like you're always at fault. A mind in doubt is a mind that can be controlled. Evil people understand this well, and that's why they use one of the most insidious forms of manipulation: gaslighting. They don't need chains or threats to control you, just a steady erosion of your confidence, making you question your own reality until you rely on them to tell you what's true. At first, it's subtle. You express frustration, and they tell you you're overreacting. You recall an event differently, and they insist that never happened. You bring up something hurtful they said, and they scoff, "You're too sensitive." Over time, you begin to second-guess yourself. Did you really misunderstand? Are you being too emotional? Maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't them, but you. That's exactly what they want you to believe. A person who truly cares about you will listen, even if they disagree. But an evil person doesn't seek understanding. They seek dominance. Their goal is to make you feel unstable, uncertain, and ultimately dependent on them for validation. The more you doubt yourself, the more power they gain. Picture this. You're in a disagreement, and you know you're right. You remember the conversation clearly, but they insist you're mistaken. They twist details, rewrite events, and make you feel foolish for even bringing it up. Suddenly, you're no longer defending your point. You're defending your sanity. The Stoics teach us to trust reason, to see things as they are, and to remain steadfast in what we know to be true. But gaslighting is designed to pull you away from truth, making you distrust even your own judgment. And once you start seeking external validation for what you should already know, you hand over control of your mind to someone else. If someone constantly makes you feel like you're the problem, if they dismiss your emotions and distort your reality, take it as a warning. You do not owe your loyalty to someone who poisons your sense of self. Stand firm. Trust your perception. You are not crazy. You are not overreacting. And you do not need their permission to believe in your own reality. Red flag number 5. Exploitation of vulnerabilities. Exploiting someone's vulnerabilities is a hallmark of evil intentions. When a person deliberately identifies your weaknesses and uses them against you, it's not just manipulative, it's calculated and harmful. This behavior isn't always obvious at first because it often starts with someone gaining your trust, only to twist that trust to their advantage later on. Imagine sharing something deeply personal with someone you believe is a friend. Perhaps you talk about a fear, an insecurity, or a mistake you've made in the past. At the time, they might listen attentively, offering support or reassurance. But later, they bring up that vulnerability in a way that hurts you. For instance, during an argument, they might say, "No wonder you're always scared. You can't handle anything," or "You'll never get past that mistake, will you?" Suddenly, something you trusted them with is being weaponized against you. Evil people often seek out information about you that they can use as leverage. For example, in a work setting, they might notice that you're nervous about public speaking. Instead of encouraging you, they might bring it up in a group setting, saying, "Oh, let's not ask them to present. They hate speaking in front of people." This might seem like a harmless comment, but it's meant to highlight your insecurity and keep you in a vulnerable position. Red flag number 6. They play the victim in every situation. Life is full of challenges, and hardship spares no one. A strong person faces difficulties with resilience, taking responsibility for their choices, but an evil person, they wear their victimhood like armor, shielding themselves from accountability while using it as a weapon against others. To them, nothing is ever their fault. They blame the world, their past, the people around them, anyone but themselves. When things go wrong, they don't reflect or grow. They point fingers. And worst of all, they expect you to buy into their sob story, to feel sorry for them, to excuse their behavior because, after all, they've had it so hard. At first, this may seem like harmless self-pity, but over time, you'll notice the pattern. Their problems never seem to improve, no matter how much you help. Their misfortunes always seem exaggerated, their suffering always worse than anyone else's. They drain you emotionally, using your empathy as a leash to keep you tethered to their never-ending cycle of misery. And if you dare to hold them accountable, if you try to establish a boundary, they'll turn the tables instantly. "How could you do this to me? You're the one hurting me." Suddenly, you're the villain. Your reasonable request becomes an attack, and their failure to change becomes your fault. They distort reality so that you question whether you were too harsh, too insensitive, too selfish for prioritizing your own well-being. This is not just emotional manipulation, it's control. The Stoics teach that external events are beyond our control, but our response to them is always within our power. A person who refuses to take responsibility for their life is not just weak, they are dangerous. Because when someone never owns their actions, they will always find a way to place the burden on you. Ask yourself, are you constantly making excuses for them? Do you feel guilty for setting basic boundaries? Have you been pulled into their endless cycle of problems, only to realize that they never truly want a solution, just more sympathy? If so, it's time to step back. You are not responsible for fixing someone who refuses to help themselves. You are not obligated to stay in relationships built on guilt and manipulation. A person who clings to their victimhood at the expense of others is not just toxic. They are a threat to your peace. Recognize the pattern. Refuse to be controlled by their false narrative. And most importantly, walk away. Remember, your peace of mind, happiness, and well-being are worth protecting at all costs. The more you understand these signs, the more empowered you become to surround yourself with genuine, supportive people. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights and experiences can help others who might be facing similar situations. And of course, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss valuable content like this. Let's continue to grow and learn every day.